Hola and welcome to the first episode of One Line at a Time. In these videos, we're going to focus on one line at a time from whatever movie or TV show I'm currently watching on Netflix. And I'm currently watching a show called The Good Place, so that's what we're starting with. In each of these videos, I'll give you a little context, then I'll tell you what the character said in English and how the subtitlers decided to translate that into Spanish. I'll point out anything that gets my attention, interesting stuff or tricky stuff basically. In these first few episodes though, the lines I picked out are mainly to introduce you to the characters and storylines in the show. This first video especially is going to be really easy, but in future videos, when we get to the more complicated stuff, to truly and fully understand my explanations, you have to be familiar with my way of looking at things, with my way of looking at the grammar, which means you need to be watching the videos I've been releasing lately on how English works. I've been making those videos for this very reason. Links are below this video or in the first comment. Right now, I'm in the middle of an 8-part series on the 6 parts of speech. I've already released the first 6 videos in that series, and the other 2 are coming really soon. Then after that, I'm doing another series called Working Together, where I'll explain what's going on for real and even the longest, most complicated sentences. But all those videos from both series, I've already covered all that information in detail in my premium course, Logical Spanish. So if you've enrolled in Logical Spanish or are a lifetime member, you don't have to wait for any future videos. Watch modules 2 and 3 of Logical Spanish and you'll be good. If you haven't enrolled in Logical Spanish and aren't a lifetime member, check out the link below this video or in the first comment. Until none of us are stuck in our houses anymore, I'm running a name your price special on the lifetime membership, which includes Logical Spanish. Even if you can't afford the $5 minimum, email me and I'll set up a free account for you. That way, no matter what, you have access to the videos you need to watch to truly and fully understand my explanations in these videos. Okay, let's get started. Remember, today's example is as simple as it's gonna get. I picked this line strictly to introduce you to this woman, Eleanor. She's one of the main characters in The Good Place, if not the main character. This is the very beginning of the series, so there's not much context to give you. We started with Eleanor sitting in a waiting room, then a man, played by Ted Danson, calls her into an office. At that point, Eleanor says she has one question, then immediately asks 3. Where am I? Who are you? And what's happening? In Spanish, they translated that as ¿Dónde estoy? ¿Quién eres? ¿Y qué está pasando? This is really close to being a direct word-for-word translation. There are 2 issues I want to talk about. First, a vocab thing. In English, Eleanor said happening, and in Spanish, they said pasando. Pasando is the ing form of the verb pasar. That's very common, to use the verb pasar as to happen. ¿Qué pasa? Is a common way to say what's happening or what's going on or what's up. And this context is very similar. What is happening? ¿Qué está pasando? What's passing? I think they went with the present progressive here, not the simple present, because Eleanor is referring to a longer, ongoing process. She was in the waiting room, now she's in the office, and after this, presumably, something else awaits her. They didn't have to use the present progressive, it's just better in this context. 2 other common ways to say to happen in Spanish is ocurrir, which means to occur, and suceder, which means to succeed, like to come after. Pasar, ocurrir, and suceder are 3 common ways to say to happen. The next issue I want to talk about is ser versus estar times 3. In English, Eleanor said a form of to be 3 times. Where am I? Who are you? Then what's really means what is. So what is happening? Am, are, is. 3 present tense forms of the verb to be. So in Spanish, the subtitlers had to choose between ser and estar 3 times. Remember, the ser estar rule of thumb tells us for temporary stuff, we use estar. For permanent stuff, we use ser. Then another way of looking at it is, for state of being stuff, we use estar. For essence stuff, we use ser. Temporary state of being, use estar. Permanent essence, use ser. Where am I? That means, where am I currently? A person's location has nothing to do with their essence. It's a temporary state of being thing. That's why they went with estar here. Estoy comes from estar. Then, who are you? Well, no matter who you are you, and you will always be you. This is a textbook example of the permanent essence thing. That's why they went with ser here. Eres comes from ser. Then finally, and what's happening? That means what is currently happening. Whatever's happening doesn't always happen. That's why Eleanor isn't sure what's happening. This is a temporary situation. It's the current state of things. That's why they went with estar here. Está comes from estar. And that's it. These videos will be pretty short compared to my other videos, but I'm aiming to get several out every week while we're all stuck at home. After a while, they really will pile up. We'll be able to cover a lot of stuff this way. This video was pretty easy. Some future videos will be harder. I'll make sure there's something for all levels. Even if you don't fully understand something though, you'll still gain from being exposed to the idea. The only way to get to those light bulb moments that we all love so much is through exposure. Unless you're watching this video the day it was released, go to SpanishDude SpanishDude.com/lines to watch all the other episodes of One Line at a Time. They're all listed there for you in order. And don't forget, if you're not already a lifetime member, you can become one now for whatever price you want. Go to SpanishDude.com/lifetime for all the details. Until next time, hasta luego.